KFGO. Thanks for spending part of your afternoon with us. Of course, we're always excited to talk about great local events happening right here in our community. On the line with us right now, we are welcoming Amy Johnson, President and Executive Director, Rock from the Heart. They have got a huge weekend ahead of them. Amy, welcome to the Mighty 790.
Thanks so much for having me on today.
Okay, so let's start off with this. If someone's never heard of Rock from the Heart, what are you guys doing?
Well, Rock from the Heart is a nonprofit started after my husband got a surprise diagnosis that required him to have open heart surgery. And because of what we went through in our experience, we wanted to do something to help other people who get these types of diagnoses. So what better than mixing heart health education with rock and roll? So that's what we do. We have one day of education followed by a second day with a rock concert.
Well, this is probably the best combination I've ever heard of. Amy, you guys just absolutely nailed it. Okay, so can we go back? So your husband's name is Pete, correct?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me what it's like leading up to Pete's diagnosis.
You know, you're just going through living your normal everyday life, and went in for his annual physical, normal stuff. And I'll never forget when he gave me the call that day and said, "There's something wrong with my heart. I have to go have an echocardiogram." Doctor had heard a heart murmur that doctors had heard in the past with Pete and had kind of, pushed it aside as being innocent. Well, this time the doctor wanted to take another look. So he went in for an echo the next week, and we got a call that says you've got a 5-centimeter aortic aneurysm and aortic stenosis that's going to require open heart surgery. Someone will give you a call to make an appointment within 2 weeks. Click.
Oh boy.
That's totally scary.
I mean, that is the longest 2 weeks you could ever imagine. Now, I also think that, okay, so now you're going online, you're trying to find information, but, when you get a diagnosis like that, it's not like there's a definitive spot that you should look at and it catches all. Everyone's totally different, right Amy?
Right. And fortunately, my husband does not like to not have answers. Pete needs to know. So he called the clinic after he got that call. He said, "You can't leave me hanging. Get me in today to see my doctor." So we did. We got in that afternoon, and probably the best thing that happened to Pete and I was as the doctor walked into the room, before he even sat down, he looked at Pete. He goes, "Pete, this is a good thing. We found it, and it is all fixable." He sat down. He drew us pictures of what it would look like, what, the next couple steps would be, and sat down with Pete and made an appointment with the cardiologist. A lot of people don't get that.
No.
They get the 2 weeks of going to the worst place in the world, Dr. Google,
and just having
who's ready to scare you with every horror story you can imagine.
And not only that, but the not knowing, right? That not knowing can, honestly, that can make you sick in itself. You can worry yourself sick.
Yeah, and when you go from, just leading your normal healthy life to, within 5 minutes, knowing you need open heart surgery, one of the most major types of surgery, you can have, it immediately changes your life. And
Pete himself is a bit of a rocker, right? He plays in some bands and stuff like that. And what instrument?
He's a drummer.
Yep. How perfect is that you guys are doing Rock from the Heart, and he's the one who already finds the heartbeat of the music itself, right?
He does, and, being a drummer, the surgery that he got, he ended up with a mechanical valve that actually ticks, and a bonus surgery getting a pacemaker, so the drummer jokes are endless with him now after that.
Okay, so let's talk about the people that you're hoping to come out to the Aortic Health Symposium, and let's talk a little bit about rock and roll, too, with that. So you start Rock from the Heart, and it's about education as well as jamming out. So let's start with the educational portion.
Right. So the educational portion is designed for anybody who has a family member that may have been diagnosed. If they've been diagnosed and don't know the next steps, we get a lot of people who are survivors who come. And the real magic happens when the survivors meet the people who are diagnosed, who meet the families who have had somebody affected, and then also families who have lost someone. There was just the recent story with young Ethan, the Moorhead High student, who would have been 17 yesterday, who had an aortic dissection last month and unfortunately didn't make it. So we actually have some of his family coming too, and just to be able to connect with other people who truly understand what you've been through, because it can be very, very isolating getting this type of diagnosis and thinking that you're alone. And then all of a sudden you find an organization like Rock from the Heart who hosts this event, and you can be sitting in a room with hundreds of other people who know exactly what you're going through.
So, Amy,
learning from the experts.
Sure.
Too.
And when you say that, they find this connection, because I've known people who have had similar things like this, and I know my mom ended up with a little bit of a heart issue at one point. It's never far from their mind. And so to be able to be with someone who they can say, hey, do you ever feel this? Do you ever feel that? I mean, because not only do you have, the physical aspects of it, you also have the emotional aspect of it.
Right. And like mentioned before, everybody's case is different. And it takes you on a very scary road when you get a diagnosis that requires such a major surgery. But to be able to be in a room, and another really cool thing is to be able to ask the doctors questions, not in the exam room, not in the clinic. It's more, casual. You can talk to other survivors and share experiences. And we're very fortunate to have, Sanford Health jumped in with both feet with us this year, and we've got just a superb lineup of speakers that will talk on all kinds of topics on Friday afternoon.
Okay, so not to say that this isn't the most important thing we should talk about, but you guys also are bringing in one of the greatest rockers of all time, because once you have the education, now it's time to have some fun, right? Right, Amy?
Yep, and the funny thing is our first year in 2019, it started with just the idea of the rock concert, but we had so much interest and people were flying in from around the country that we said, well, why don't we give them something else to do and add some education to the mix? So the rock and roll kind of gets the message out there to people who normally wouldn't be, right? The old preaching to the choir. So you bring in somebody like Rick Springfield, and you're going to have people in that room that are going, you know what? These are my people.
So I
had no idea.
Here's what I think is really, really awesome. First of all, someone, you got some love in our text club here, Amy. Someone says, super excited to attend Rock from the Heart. Last year was Sebastian Bach, and he was amazing. So you got some lovers there.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, yeah.
So you're bringing in Rick Springfield. It's going to be over at the Avalon Event Center, and any seat in there is closer than almost any seat you're going to have at any major concert venue across the country. And I'm on right now, and I'm eyeing up one of those tables up in the balcony. Those are a really good deal right there. But there are 2 floor seats that look like they are available in row D right now. Right there. Not only that, but any seat in this place is great. And once you're sold out, you're sold out. Right, Amy?
Right. Once we're sold out, we're sold out. We really like that we've kept our events small and intimate, because it just helps with that whole connection to be in that. And we're just grateful to have artists, like Rick, who are willing to, come and perform for our event. We had him last year in our Minneapolis event, and it was sold out, and people just raved about it. He's such a phenomenal performer. He gets the cause, and he's a shining example of health at somebody who's older and just rocking out.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I mean, if I could figure out how he keeps that hair so flowy, I would be doing that 100%. So if you can find out, Amy, and get back to me, that'd be great. If people are interested, they're like, yep, I want to come to the symposium. I want to get the education. I want to talk with other survivors. I want to talk with the spouses of survivors. And then I want to go to Rick Springfield. How are they going to get all of the information that they need?
You can go just at a one-stop shop right off of our homepage at rockfromtheheart.org. There will be links right off the homepage that will take you to the events page where you can click to the symposium and register for that. you can click right to the concert, which will link you right into the ticketing page as well to purchase your tickets. And then you can always, send us an email, too, if you have any questions about it at office@rockfromtheheart.org.
There you go. We're talking about Rock from the Heart, the Aortic Health Symposium going on this Friday, May 3rd, 1 p.m. to 9:30 is what it's listed at, Courtyard by Marriott in Moorhead. And then Rick Springfield will be at the Avalon Event Center on Saturday, May 4th. Gosh, what a great opportunity to bring some awesome education and some awesome concert going to the area. Amy, thank you so much. And say hey to Pete for us, would you?
We will. And one quick thing, added bonus, Gina Shock from the Go-Go's is going to be here, too, Friday and Saturday.
What? How did we sleep on that until the end of the interview? Holy moly.
Yep, and she's gonna play a few songs with my husband's band, Aortic Fire, opening up the show.
That's fantastic. Also, I saw that if you go to that rockfromtheheart.org, you can get some Aortic Fire merch on there, too, did I see on there?
We have Rock from the Heart merch. The Aortic Fire merch is coming.
Okay, there you go. That's what we call a tease in our industry, Amy. That works. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Have a great day, and thanks for having us on.